Hey coding words. So basically in today's GFG POTD we have a problem, buildings with sunlight, and it is a kind of easy level of problem, and the problem statement is given as given the array of heights of certain buildings that lie adjacent to each other. Sunlight starts falling from the left side of the building. If there is a building of a certain height, all the buildings to the right side of it having lesser heights cannot see the sun. Find the total numbers of buildings that receive sunlight. Okay, so basically in the given problem here we have buildings. Okay, some of buildings are having taller height, and some of buildings are like having lesser height than the taller height buildings. Okay, so here our problem is just simply ask that how many buildings can see the sunlight which actually falling from the left side. Okay, like if I have to explain here, so here we have buildings of different heights also, and here it is also mentioned in the form of an array. Let's consider it as the size of the buildings. Let's say this will be like around 6 feet type of building. Let's consider it as any unit. Okay, let's say it's for its height is like around 6 meter building height. Okay, then after that it's like too much. Okay, let's consider it any unit. So let's say it will like 6 unit of height. Then after it the next building is like 2 unit of height, and then another next is building is like 8 unit of building. Then after it 4, then 11, then 13. So we know very well if the sun is falling from the left side, so only 6, the first building, whoever is the first building, whether it is like a smaller building or the tallest building, first building is like always see the sun. So yeah, this building is like able to see the sun. Then after the second building, it is like covered with these two buildings, so it will not able to see the sun. So in that case we don't have to increment the count. But after that, if I'm talking about 8, so it is like taller than 6 also, so yeah, it can able to see the sun. Then this one is not going to see, as it is like smaller than these two buildings. And then after it will see, and then again this taller building again see. So here there are 4 buildings which can see the sun. Okay, and here expression is like also given here. Only the buildings with the height 6, 8, 11 and 13 receive sunlight, so therefore the output is 4. Similarly, if I'm talking about the second example here, so here we have again some buildings. Here first buildings can able to see the sun, again second building is like taller than first building, so it is also able to see the sun. But if I'm talking about one, so one is like in between these two taller buildings, so it is not able to see the sun. So in that case we don't have to count. Then again, if I'm talking about the next building, which is like taller than all building, so it will definitely take the or receive the sun. So in that case they are up to like 3. That means we can say that there are 3 buildings that can easily receive the sunlights. Okay, that are basically we can say that falling from the left side. Okay, so if I'm talking about the third example here, so here you have like 3, 3, 3 and then 1. That means 3 buildings of same size, and then after that one building is like smaller than all this previous left buildings. So in that case we are actually getting 3. Okay, because the buildings with having the same heights will receive all this sun, but the one which is like lesser than all these buildings will not going to receive the sun. So here constant is like also given here, like array dot size must be like greater than equal to 1 and less than or equal to 10 to the power 5, and array of I should be like greater than equal to 1 and less than equal to 10 to the power 5. And here we have to solve this problem with the time complexity of order of n, and expected is like order of n. That means we don't have to use any extra space. Okay, and it is like completely based on arrays and data structure, and this is like really very important question as well as really very easy problem, as it is like also in Amazon and Microsoft, and these are related interviews experience. Okay, which you can see here. So let's try to understand this problem, and I'm going to solve this. But before that, what is our brute force approach to solve the given problem? Here our simple brute force approach is, let's say we have to compare the 2 buildings. On the behalf of that, we can check which buildings can able to see the sun or not. Let's say if I have to say, first of all we have to define the size of an array. So I defined it here. Okay, then let's say if I'm defining it like for int I is equal to 0, I is less than n, and then I plus plus. Okay, then again if I'm going to do like for int j is equal to I plus 1, and then j is like less than n, and then j plus plus. So if we actually find like by using this way, let's say if array of I is like we can say that, or array of j is like less than array of I, then in that case we have to simply move count plus plus, and then we have to simply return our count. Okay, let's say if I have to also declare a variable as count as 0, and let's try to compile and run. So in that case I think it is wrong. Okay, yeah, it will definitely give a wrong output here, because here we have not given any condition. Here we are just comparing these two buildings, whether it is like small or not, but here it is not saying those things. Here on the behalf of sun, which is dropping from the left side, on the behalf of that we have to make the condition. So in that case what I can do here I have to declare one more variable, let's say, which I can say as int or let's say boolean type of value. Okay, where I can check bool is visible is equal to, let's say we have to initialize it with true, and after that I'm saying that if my array of j is like greater than, okay, or like smaller than, greater than, we have to give the conditions like this way. If array of j is like greater than array of I, which is like false. Okay, so in that case we know in that case our is visible is like becoming false. Okay, so in that case also it is not going to be like true. So the approach to solve the problem is like, here we have to follow these two things. Here as this prompts us to solve this problem with the time complexity of order of n. So I'm going to solve it by using time complexity of order of n. So what we'll do, see, for that we have to again first of all print the m is equal to array.size, and then after that here we have to do like this way, for int I is equal to 0, and I is like less than n, and then I plus plus. Here see, if we have to traverse it from the left side, why the reason behind why I'm traversing from the left side, because the sun is in the left side. If it is the sun is like we can say that falling from the right side, so in that case we have to traverse from the back. Okay, I'm going to explain you how I have to do this thing. So int here we have to consider its maximum height as 0. Okay, then after that here we have to also declare one more variable, which is count variable, to count the total buildings that can able to see the sun. So here let's say if I have to define it for the right. Okay, if the sun is falling from right side, if it is like falling from right side, then we have to give we have to check the condition from the right. So in that case, if I'm saying that int I is equal to whatever is the size of an array minus 1, and then I is like greater than or equal to 0, and then I minus minus, and then after that here we have to simply check the condition, which is we can give it like by using this way. So here we have to give one conditional statement where we can set if my array of I is greater than maximum height, as the maximum height is always in the starting it will be like 0. So here we have to do just one thing, that means if I'm talking about this building, so if the sun is like in this right side, so we have to consider this building. So in that case my current height value is like 0, and definitely if I traverse for the first time, my array of I is like greater than maximum height. So in that case we have to just simply do one thing, that means here we have to simply take the value of array of I to my height, maximum height, and we have to simply make count plus plus, and while traversing for, or like while checking for other times, for let's say for this building which can't able to see the sun, if the sun is like on the right side. Okay, so in that case my if the array of I, which is like 11, is it 11 is like greater than 13? No. So in that case it will not count plus plus, and here we simply return our count. Okay, so this is the case for right side if the sun is like falling from the right side. Okay, so here if I'm going to get comparison, so definitely I will got wrong output because I am not checking for the left side, and it is already mentioned that the sun is falling from the left side. So in that case we have to simply uh, make like this way, and then I have to just comment it out. I have to just explain it. So that's why I want to just make, I would like to just share the concept for the sun if it is like falling from the right side. Let's say if the sun is falling from the left side, so from the left side, so for that we have to traverse it from the left. For int I is equal to 0, I is like less than array dot side, which is n, and then I plus plus, and then after that here you can just simply do comparison operator. Okay, or here just simply check for the first time. That means if my array of height is like greater than maximum height, which is currently 0. So if I'm talking about, so for the first time I'm talking about my first building, which is already can able to see the sun. So in that case we can say that maximum height is equal to array of height. So in that case it will definitely able to receive the sun. But for the next time we are actually comparing on the behalf of maximum height as well as my array of height. So here we have to count plus plus, and then after that let's say if I'm going to traverse, or if I'm going to like developing this problem. So for the first time int I is equal to 0, that means if I'm talking about this, okay, so which is like maximum height, which is currently 0. So in here our condition like true, and the maximum height is like initialize it with array of height. That means maximum height is like 6 now, and 6 can equal to 6 this sun. So in that case here we have to count plus plus, so here count will be like 1. Now if I'm going to traverse for the second time, which is I is equal to 1, that means this 2. So is my array of I is like greater than maximum height. Maximum height now contains the value 6. Is 2 is like greater than 6 now. So in that case it will like false, and we don't have to count plus plus. Whatever is our count, we have to simply return it. Similarly, if I'm talking about my third traversal, so here it is like 8. So 8 is like greater than maximum height. Currently my maximum height is 6. So in that case, yeah, we have to do it on maximum height by 6, and then plus plus. Similarly, so we are using this way, we can able to achieve all those buildings that can able to see the sun. So that's where the thing is starting on time. Okay, and if the building is also like having the same size also, then in that case also we have to consider that the buildings can able to receive the sun. So that's why we have to also include this equal to operator also here, so that this like will be true for all those conditions. Let's try to submit this problem. So yeah, it's submitted. So yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this video, and also the concept also.